What's up, everybody? Will1 here. Welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be looking at the current 2026 NASCAR paint schemes based upon January 21st, so yesterday. So I'll be making YouTube shorts of the next video, the next paint schemes that get released. I'll put them on their short videos. It'll probably be like a few days, but I'll have a breaking down and stuff. So the first one, which was released yesterday, Bob's Discount Furniture has re-signed for Denny Hamlin and Joe Gibbs Racing. They racing at assorted of races. There's 5 of them down, including the Clash coming up in a couple weeks. This car looks nice. I think there's a little bit of a difference. I don't fully remember it from last year, but definitely looks like it's different. Released on the 20th, Bass Pro Shops has re-signed again for Chase Briscoe in the 19 car. Honestly, nothing different than from last year. And Xfinity has a new look for Bubba Wallace in the 23 car. I like the different shades of purple that they have in there. And the contrast with the white just makes it pop very nice. So this car looks... This is probably one of the best I've seen for Xfinity so far. On the 19th, Rush Truck Center is re-signed for Noah Gragson. Doesn't look to be anything different at all. And Zepp has signed for Joe Gibbs Racing for both Briscoe and Ty Gibbs. And I'm pretty sure I saw something about Zepp being for the 20 car Bell. Pretty sure that's gonna be released soon. I saw that they signed for Bell for a couple of races. But yeah, the last time I seen Zepp was on the 4 car, believe it or not, for Noah Gragson last year. Had that for a couple of times. Last year they signed with Joe Gibbs instead of re-signing for Front Row. On the 15th, so there's a bit of a gap there, Traveler Whiskey, we sponsor Justin Allgaier. Hopefully get into the Daytona 500. And this car looks way better than from last year. But honestly, the car last year was really good. I love the new font that Junior Motorsports decided to add on here. And in my opinion, I want to know your guys' opinion. Should Junior Motorsports be full-time in the Cup? Again, a driver. And let me know what driver you think should drive. And the number, my guess, to be 40 or something like that. And then Dollar Tree re-signed for Legacy Motorsports right here in the 43. Doesn't look anything special than from last year. Maybe I think last year it was like mainly all green because it looks like the hood, because for the logo and stuff, it's green, and then they have the white, the green in the logo, and then they have the white there on the hood, the mascot. Now this is a sponsor I never heard of, Freebird Southern Spring Water, and this will be on Chase Briscoe's car. Last year all he had was Bass Pro. This year has a nice assortment of sponsors. Definitely tells like patriotic, I guess I would say, the red, white, and blue. Looks nice overall. So I don't know what tracks this one's going to be on, but we'll see. On the 13th, Haas Factory team, well, they have HaasTooling.com. And not sure if anybody knew this, but they went back to Chevrolet. It's been like quite a few years. And back then it was Haas, Stuart Haas. Back then. It looks a little bit of a different paint scheme than from last year. It looks like that more gray, but I could be wrong on that. And Aaron's resigned for Front Row. As far as I know, only for the 38 car. And they have the Lucky Dog on this one, which I love the Lucky Dog paint schemes. And I say Aaron's always has one of the best paint schemes in my opinion, so I'm happy to see this back. And this is a sponsor I never would have thought to see on a NASCAR. Chef Boyardee is signed for Hayek Motorsports in the 47 car. Honestly, nothing special this paint scheme, just plain red. A little bit of detailing into it, and then they have the logo and stuff, and of course the pasta. But I really never would have thought this being the sponsor, and usually they have a lot more sponsors, which I'm going to guess will come in the future here, but this is what we got so far. On the 9th, Busch Light has their Mountain paint scheme. This is definitely new from last year for Busch, and they're probably going to have special paint schemes as well. This is no one I've never heard of. Foreign Energy is signed for William Byron. I've never heard of this. All I know is an energy drink, and then this is a very nice looking paint scheme in my opinion. And then BuildSummaries.com is signed for RFK. for all three of their cars and the exact same paint scheme for all three of them. Which looks nice. I think last year's was better, but the black does give a lot more detail. Looks like an all-new logo appeared for Gold Submarines. But this is so good. I think last year was better, but black and the teal look really nice themselves. And this is the last one I have dated. From here on is going to be based upon number, because I don't have a date for the rest of them. But Dollar Tree, like I said, Legacy Center here, and John Hunter Nemec gets to have it, and same paint scheme as Jones, so nothing special. We're going to start out with discount tires for Austin Cindric, and nothing different from last year. The exact sponsor placement and everything. And I'm including about the secondary sponsors as well. So the paint scheme is the same, the sponsors is the same. No difference is the new Ford. And that was Ford Dark Horse. Can't wait to see that on the track. Miller Tech right here for Noah Gragson, the 4-car. I always loved the Miller Tech paint schemes. I always thought they were so cool, and nice to see them right here. And hopefully they race quite a bit with this paint scheme, because I don't think last year they had it enough. This is probably the best paint scheme that has been released so far, and I'm happy to see it back. Kyle Larson, the HenryCars.com car, looks the exact same as last year. Valvoline has a bit of a difference. Last year was mainly all red with a little bit of white and blue. This year is like the hood and the roof are red, so, and then a lot more white and a lot more other, the light blue and dark blue. So nice to see all this new detail they put into this car. So I personally love this better than last year's. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure, and I know Byron has a new one, which we'll get to that in a minute. And I could have done this for the 17 or 60, but I decided to do it for the 6. Fastnail Bodyguard, sponsor for all three of them RFK cars once again. It's black and orange, which honestly, black works really well with orange. It works well with many different colors. There we go. Dangerous Swords is now part of Spire Motorsports and carried out with Freeway Insurance. It looks like he's also going to have like Nations Guard and probably a bunch of other sponsors are going to come in. Honestly, FreewayInsurance.com, their paint schemes are always kind of mid, but honestly with the 7 font that Spire has, it kind of makes it look a lot more better than what it did on the 99 car. And a couple of different paint schemes right here for Kyle Busch. Is we got the new Cheddar's paint scheme. This is probably the best that this car has ever looked. I like it myself. I know a lot of people do. And Lucas Oil, nothing different about this car. Just the same paint scheme as it was. Chase Auto has a whole bunch of paint schemes. We're going to start with the Napa, which is kind of like splitting half of the blue and white. The blue stripe right there kind of messes up a little bit, but honestly adds a little more detail than it being just white on the side. So I'm not complaining too bad. Amazon Prime, that's a really nice looking car. It's better than last year's in my opinion, because I love how the black and blue contrast together. So looks very amazing. Kelly Blue Book, it has like the split, the dark blue and light blue. This car looks fairly nice. So honestly, not much complaints about this one, and probably the worst one of Chase Elliott's paint schemes. But honestly, it's not that bad. Which that one being the UniFirst paint scheme. It almost reminds me a little bit too much of the throwback. Which I swear that throwback car was just a regular UniFirst paint scheme, so. And next, we have Ryan Blaney. Worth, it looks like they only have it for Talladega. They might get more races, but Talladega looks a lot more different than last year. I don't fully remember what last year's paint scheme was, but this is all I remember. Then the Menards car is all going to look the same. I don't think they have ever changed the Menards car. I really don't know how long. Columbia Bank is now over here for the 19 car. I've never heard of Columbia Bank, but a lot of people do. This paint scheme looks pretty fine. The white and blue contrast. Nothing special about this paint scheme. Nice to see a new sponsor once again for the 19. DeWalt is now here for the 20 cars, so it doesn't look to be anything different. Then Worth is right here for the 21 car, which this one's actually different than Blaney's. This one's mainly black and red. This one may be racing at Texas at the Worth 400. Then there's a Ford Motorcraft Clit Lane. Nothing different there. And then the Euro looks a little bit different from last year. It looks like from the hood it gets brighter and then it gets dark the further it goes. Which I like that. Alright, let's continue. The 22, the Pennzoil shell. I don't think anything different with this car. It honestly doesn't. And honestly, I think this sponsor the paint scheme hasn't looked that well ever since they switched to the next gen cars. Let's say Hunt Miller's Pizza, finally something different. Because last year, I think that paint scheme was horrible. I'm pretty sure it was like pure red or pure green or something like that. It was like no other detailing. They added a little bit more detailing. It's mainly all green, and then they have a little bit of red and stuff. I mean, I think we'll have to admit when Kevin Harvick had it, the Hunt Brothers Pizza card was definitely the best. And William Byron had two different slides for him. We're starting out with Liberty University. Doesn't look anything different than last year. Maybe a little bit of a difference. I just can't really tell. I mentioned for the 5-car Valvoline. There's their look, which adds way more detail than what Kyle Larson had. It's like a mixed combination of the white, blue, dark blue, and red. So actually, I like quite a bit. I still think Larson's is still a little bit better. And Raptor, they completely changed because last year it was green and black. This year's red, white, and blue. Which I don't know if this one's worse or better. I can't really tell. Okay, I think Raptor always had nice paint schemes with the green and black. Can't really tell this one's better or worse. Then the second slide, William Byron, we have HP. Everybody hates this new paint scheme. Honestly, I don't mind it that much. It's definitely nowhere near as good as last year's. I mean, it is basically just plain white, and then they have some blue detailing. But that number looks really nice, which pops out the black and then the blue outline. It looks really nice. Honestly, they definitely could have had more detailing, but honestly, it ain't the worst. It's just very simple. And then All Pro, I never heard of that. At first, I thought it was like another thing from Raptor. I really don't know what All Pro is. It's a whole separate company. There's their car. It does look fairly nice, mainly all red, and then they have the black and white and the signature yellow 24. And Cincinnati, they've always been red, white, and blue. Actually, it looks red, silver, and blue, but it's probably just white. And then the stars and stripes on the blue. Always a really nice paint scheme. And it looks like it's going to be at Martinsville and Richmond. And then for the 38, I printer Zane Smith. If I remember right, yeah, Speedy Cash and Title Max are back. Nice they put both of them in the same picture. I kind of like that. Honestly, Speedy Cash, I always liked their paint schemes. I think a few years ago, it was way better than Title Max. Theirs are always pretty simple. Looks a little bit different, I think, this year, but probably wrong about that. 42, that Rexel, which I never heard of either. Actually, electrical supplies and appliance solution. So there's this. I don't think this was a sponsor last year, so I really don't know. Here's a look at it. It's different shades of blue, and then there's the white hood and white roof. And of course, no legacies. Number 42. That was white with the gold outline. And this is probably the best that this Alloy car's ever looked. I mean, their paint schemes have always been revolving around the same. You know, the dark purple. And there's time where it was like white. That was like a couple years ago. It was like basically pure white with some purple. And now they have some blue on here, which is, this is probably the best Alloy's ever looked. I always kind of complain about Alloy's paint schemes. This is definitely a very amazing and well approved And I'd be fine if they stick with this for a while. Keep the same detailing, but I'm happy that they went to his new look. I mean, Carvana number 84 for Jimmy Johnson, which he's going to be racing a few different ones. He already locked himself into the 500. Now it's going to be a 41 car field except for 40. And he's also going to be racing in, pretty sure, the San Diego street course. Yeah, the Carvana car is different every year. This one kind of reminds me of a sunset a little bit with the yellow. Honestly, I don't really get their paint scheme and stuff. I mean, it looks fine in my opinion. I think last year was like black, but this car looks fine itself. I'm not complaining that much at all. It's a nice looking car. And the last slide I'm pretty sure I have is the Red Bull cars for Connor Zilch in the 88 and Shane Van Gisbergen in the 97. At first, I wanted to put them side to side to see if there's anything different, and there is. Not really anything though. The only difference is the 88 has like a light blue, and then SVG has the red. So that's like the only difference that we can tell. So if you all like this video, please click the like button and subscribe. And I wanted to show you all this, and then we have shorts. I'm gonna post her out. Don't know when, but I will. Probably won't give as much detail in the YouTube short just to fit in the 2-3 minutes that the minimum is. And I'm gonna continue my Real Racing 3 farewell series. Make sure you watch them. And I'll see all you in the next video.